Hey, it's Gina Brogan. Good morning. It is Friday, and I have such an amazing experience to share with you that will help you quantum leap, collapse time, be her now. And I just shared this with my 33 Days of Slay group, and it is so powerful. And if you do one thing to manifest and to upgrade your identity, one thing at all, do this, because it will absolutely change your life much more significantly and more long-lastingly, permanently, and much more quickly than almost anything else. And this is one of my signature things that I train all of my clients to do. We talk about this all the time. I'm always reminding them. I'm always going back to this. Rehearse your future memories for the life, the love, the money, the joy, the home, the family, the experiences that you actually want to live. And if you're here, say hello. If you have questions, ask me questions. Because this is really, truly the most powerful thing you can do, in my opinion. And I do it all the time, and I teach it all the time. And that's why my clients' lives actually change. So your body does not know the difference between a real or an imagined event. Let me give you a really easy example for you to understand this. So let's say you were betrayed when you were in a relationship before. Let's say that in third grade, maybe it was second grade, and Susan Schaefer said, "Why don't you brush your hair?" She probably didn't say it like that, but she said, "Why don't you brush your hair more?" And I'm like, inside I'm going, wait, I brush my hair every day. But if you know Gina Brogan, you know Gina Brogan has Gina Brogan hair. And it just so happens that I'm using that example today because I decided I'm not going to straighten my hair today. I'm just going to let it be wild and free. And so that example came up. Let's say you had another experience where maybe Gordon Ramsay, I think that was his name, in seventh grade, said to you, like, "Why do you have frog lips?" Whatever that means. And that hurt you, it hit you. I still remember that comment. Like, of all the things said to me, all the things that may have been said to me, throughout my life, I remember him saying, "Why do you have frog lips?" Maybe you remember when you were playing soccer and you always you were actually trying out for the boys team because you were that good. You were an amazing athlete. You were the best girl soccer player in your town. And you tried out for the boys team and you were practicing with them. And as you're running around the track, you hear one of them say, "Well, yeah, she's really good, but she's kind of ugly." And you remember that. So all of these things, they imprint not only on your brain, but when you experience a painful thing, you feel it in your body, don't you? You feel it in your body, and that sticks with you. And that creates a neural pathway where your brain, body, and your heart, your emotional system, believes it. And you carry that with you throughout your life, unless and until you learn what I'm going to share with you. So it is very common for most people to share their wounding, to share their pain, to repeat that wounded ideas and those thoughts and feelings. And what happens is our neural pathways, our brain locks that shit in. It locks it in, right? And so then we start to act from that belief system. Now we believe I've got frog lips. I make a funny face when I say that, don't I? And that I'm ugly, and that I don't brush my hair, or at least I don't look like it, even if I do. And that becomes our identity. because we're rehearsing it over and over. We're ruminating. I can't believe she said that. Why did she say that? What does that mean? And then that's who we become. That's the sad news. But I am here to share with you the good news. This is going to be actually some of the best news you've ever heard. Because what you get to do is decide how you want your life to look and feel. How do you want your life to look and feel? What do you actually want? What do you want? Have you ever actually asked yourself that question? What do I want? I'm going to at everyone here because this is such gold. This is such gold. Is that how you do it? I hope so. So anyway, this is how I literally transformed my life. And I do this, I practice it. This is the work that will actually change your life, okay? So we don't do actions from externally trying to change the conditions in our life because we have this feeling that we want to change our life. So it's like, oh, I don't have money. I'm going to go make more money. And maybe I'm going to win the lottery or I'm going to marry somebody and get the money I want. Well, I can tell you, if you're doing that from that wounded identity of I don't have enough money, it does not matter how much money you win or how wealthy a person you marry or what great job you get. If you are still carrying and operating from the wounded identity of I don't have enough, or if I continued to operate from the identity of I have frog lips, I'm ugly, and my hair never looks brushed, then I'm going to lose that thing that I got from the external. So I went out and I did things, I actioned and made a change, but the change is not lasting. It's not lasting because I'm still the version of me. I'm still living as Gina the ugly girl, or somebody might be living as Susie the poor girl who, married this guy and got all this money, but still felt empty. Okay. So what I want you to do is understand that when you change your identity, you change who you are. This is about upgrading your identity and who you show up in the world as. Rehearsing your future memories. So here's what we do. We create, first of all, we create a wish list. Go ahead and create your wish list. Want what you want. Give yourself permission to want what you want. Decide that it's okay and it's safe to want exactly what you want, even though it feels impossible or selfish or greedy or whatever ideas you've been told that you can't want what you want, can't get what you want, Let's just put that aside and say, here's my list of what I want. And then you might want to play with, why do I want these things? Because really, the only reason we want something is because we think we will feel better in having it, right? Remember, Susie, who felt like she would feel better in having all this money, but then she got all the money and she didn't feel better because she didn't change who she was and in her own perception of herself. Your self-perception is everything, okay? In carrying through and living from your divine identity. So now let's say Susie's like, okay, I said I wanted money. I got money. I still didn't feel good in my life. I felt empty. And how many of you can relate to working to get what you want? Maybe you're climbing a ladder and you're achieving these things. You're having success. You're meeting milestones. And you still want more. You're never satisfied. It's like, yeah, but now I need this and now I need that. Or I had to sacrifice that. So now I got to find balance over here. This is because you're trying to make the external world conform to help your inner life feel better. And that's backwards. Let's opposite day that. Let's practice not doing anything externally to change our lives, but to do this. Now, you've got your list. You even have your why. Why do I want more money? Why do I want to be, why do I want to feel more attractive? Or why do I want to feel Like, I'm not ugly, I don't have frog lips, and my hair doesn't look crazy. Well, I feel like then people would like me. Well, people already like me, but that's not the point. What is the point? I would feel like that. Then I would get over that pain that I felt when Susan Schaefer told me in second grade about my hair, and Gordon Ramsay said that, and Joe on the soccer team said this thing. I need to look at those feelings. Little wounded Gina, who took those stories and made that her identity. And I need to spend some time with her and say, look, little Gina, let me tell you a thing. You are lovable. Here's all the reasons why. And I, big Gina, divine identity Gina, I'm never going to leave you. I'm never going to leave you. I'm never going to call you ugly. I'm never going to be mean to you. I'm never going to say those mean things to you because I love you unconditionally, no matter what. Okay, so this is a very short version of how we go through a little bit of a healing process. But let's fast forward to, what if we didn't even want to do all that? Well, we can simply rehearse our future memories. And when we dig into the why we want what we want, we get a real secret clue as to where our wounding is, how to heal it, and then how to call in the life we actually want with purpose. So you are not here to just get money and have no purpose. We are here to live with purpose, for purpose, and on purpose, right? So when you can really create a symbolic scene that says, oh my God, I've made it. Whatever that next level of made it is. Hi guys, do you want to go down there or you want to stay here? My little watchdogs are living in their purpose. So create your symbolic scene. What is that? That is, this is a snapshot of the life. Maybe it's a day in the life. Maybe it's an hour in the life of all the things that you desire. And it's like, oh, wow, look, I've made it. I'm sitting around the table celebrating a milestone with my family. Everyone is happy and successful, and they're celebrating me, and they love me, and I love them, and it's just such a lovely experience. And we have all the delicious foods and da da da. What is the feeling I'm aiming for in that scene? Well, I'm aiming for the feeling of family, of long-lasting love, of safe love, of my gorgeous home that feels just so beautiful, and of celebration. I've got the feeling of celebration, of accomplishment, of my heart is so full. It is so full, it is overflowing. So when I add detail to this scene, sensory detail, taste, touch, smell, audio, hearing. What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you smelling? And go past that. Now, what are the emotions? So I want to bring as much vivid clarity and detail to this scene. And you can write it out. You can read it. You can then rehearse it. Go there and plant yourself in that scene. And don't just visualize it. Feel it. Feel it. So walk yourself through. Okay, so this is what I just did for my my clients. I just walked them through this, and this just came through. This is part of a day in the life of Gina Brogan. Next level Gina, Gina the Good Witch, Gina who is living her life with purpose, on purpose, and for purpose, and has fully expressed her career aspirations, her family aspirations, her physical body, her home, her partnership. And she wakes up in the morning. The early morning sun is streaming through the windows. The birds are chirping. And her husband is sleeping peacefully beside her. And he is just the most delicious, most loving, most protective, providing for man. He lives to see me in happiness and joy and pleasure. And I slip out of bed and I go straight into my deck, onto my deck, where I overlook my infinity pool and the grass below the pool, and I see the Pacific Ocean. That's all I can see is nature all around me. And the ground feels so solid beneath my bare feet. And I sit and I watch the sun rise, and I see the world come awake. And I feel so peaceful, so intentional. I know what my day looks like. I know how things are going to unfold. I know what my jobs are that day because I've already pre-paved my day. And there's room there for unexpected surprises because they always come. There's room for magic. There's room for things I didn't plan. And I feel the sense of peace, of gratitude, deep, deep gratitude for this life that I have been living, that I have chosen. This life that was not always easy. It is not always easy to overcome the things that I've overcome. I do not take my growth lightly. My expansion, my identity upgrade was not delivered or handed to me in a pretty box with a ribbon on top. It was handed to me in difficult challenges, life circumstances I didn't think I asked for, ugly moments, but in things that my soul signed up for, my soul curriculum. And every time I was faced with a challenge, I could meet it head on with powerful thinking, because I learned how to face my life, to live my life, to move through my life with presence and power. Even when I didn't always show up as this, paragon of virtue and evolved maturity, you better believe it, I still can show up like a hot mess express. But I love myself unconditionally. And I continued to do what I'm teaching you, rehearse the future memories. And here's what happens. First of all, I can look back on my life from that moment and I can see the well-worn pathway. I can see the patterns of thought, the cycles that I went through, and the moments where I stepped off that path and walked a new path. And I started to weaken the old neural networks of my cycles and patterns that no longer served me. And I started to strengthen and wear new paths that were guiding me to where I wanted to be. For example, my daily habits support this version of me who's living in this gorgeous home with this gorgeous masculine man partner, and with my amazing business supporting myself. Hold on. And I continue to do the habits that she knows got her there. Showing up every morning, doing my movement. So every morning I move. I know that that's going to be part of it. I know that my morning meditation is part of it. So I be her now by doing those things. So those are the practical applications of being her. I rehearse my future memories by feeding the vision, rehearsing the future memories, and fueling the vision with my elevated emotions. Okay, because this started out with, I don't know if I said this in the beginning, but I did say it in my training earlier to my clients. Your body doesn't know the difference between a real or an imagined experience. So, when you feed and fuel the vision with your elevated emotions, remember, we can remember those emotions. We can rehearse those painful emotions. That's easy for most people. For muggles, it's easy. People who live in the 3D, they see what they want, and they see what they see, they do. It's all physical. It's all very heavy, dense energy, right? I gotta work hard. I gotta do hard. La 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 la. Creators, magical creators who understand that they are the operant power in their lives, they know that when they feed and fuel the vision that lights their hearts up and that they desire to live, fuel it with elevated emotions. Now I'm reprogramming my brain and my body to line up, and my heart to line up for that life. And I'm stepping off the path. When I call in an experience that tries to hook me from my past, from the wounded identity of who I've become, and I don't go into pattern and go, oh, that person said something about me, that means I'm this, and I'm going to live that. I'm not looking for the external to tell me who I am. I'm going inside and I'm becoming who I came here to be. I'm remembering my soul's purpose, mission, desires. Because I'm making what's inside of me more powerful and important. And when I rehearse that future memory and I build on it, so I have a whole day in the life of this version of me. It starts out like I just shared with you. I wake up and I'm going out just right away to do my meditation and do my movement. I rotate between yoga and strength training and various movements every morning. And then I sit in my meditation. I love to do my movement before meditation because it prepares my body. My body's been, a little stretched and strained, so then it's prepared to rest. And then I drop in. And I connect with my breath, and I connect with my heart, and I connect with my body. And this is my daily practice for living in alignment. And when my brain, my body, and my heart are all in alignment, we move toward the vision with power and presence and purpose. We're creating new neural pathways and strengthening those. We're not looking back at old news. Now, old stuff will come up, old feelings. You may have an experience today that triggers an old feeling, and it is your choice to go, oh, I can go into pattern and have this thought process and spiral into that and become, keep that identity alive, or I can jump out of the pattern, be present with, oh, this thing happened. Yep, that reminds me of that's what this is showing me. I can look at current events and ask, what is this showing me? And it may be showing me something that does need to be healed. Like, oh, yeah, so here's how I do that. If something hurts in the present and it takes me to the past, to a past feeling, we're not going to know that unless we're really, really aware of that. Everything that's happening to us is happening for us. And you can ask yourself, what is this showing me that is trying to come forth from within me? So it could be a new healing. It could be a way to see ourselves in a different way. So if something happens now that triggers an old feeling, I get to look at it and then maybe do some healing. Have my higher self, the version of me who's on that deck doing that yoga and meditation with that amazing house and husband and life, And she and this version of me can reparent that little girl in me who feels hurt still. And when that hurt is witnessed, is validated, and nurtured into the loving, emotional connection that she needed at the time, it is neutralized. Then there's no reason for her to go forward in life and be hooked by some experience that it will no longer activate. It will no longer trigger anything. But if we're still living that wounded identity, it's going to come at us more and more and more and more until we decide it's time to heal and it's time to build a new road, a new path, and to step out of the cycle. So, rehearsing your future memories, fueling them with elevated emotions. You can see how my body is feeling. I am embodying the feelings of that life. Even though I'm not there, I am feeling it now. My body is showing you. My smile is real, you guys. I feel the feelings of my wishes fulfilled. And you had better believe that this is now my dominant energy that I take through my day. There's more to come. And if you want to learn more about this, we've got visitors now. But if you want to know more about this, message me and talk to me about how can I get the 33 Days of Slay training, or how can I get into the Radiant Soul Mastermind, or how can I go do this in person with you in Austin in September 1st through 5th.